Today, ladies and gents, I'm going to do another tutorial, and this one's going to be on how to create a Christmas ornament. So, first thing that I've done is I've drawn a square with guidelines surrounding the square and one through the center line. Now, I've colored this one of my linked colors, and that's going to be important later. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to clone this square by pressing Control K. And I've created another one on top of it. If I change it to a different color and move it off to the side, you can see there are now two squares there. Now with the lock aspect ratio selected, I am going to decrease this to about 35% of its current size, and I want to rotate that by a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch these points from top to bottom. And then I'm going to press Control K to clone it again and slide it over to the side and line this up with the edge of the square and do the same on the other side. Yeah. Now this is just to give my Christmas ornament a bit of ornamentation. So I'm going to drag select all of those, and I'm going to go ahead and press the Q key, which is applying a clip view. So it clips all of the outer shapes, or all the above shapes, to the shape below. Now I noticed I didn't quite get it there, so I'm going to press undo real quick, and I'm going to nudge that one just a bit. There we go. Now I'm going to drag select them all again and press Q again. There we go. Now I've got my shape. And now what I want to do is I'm trying to make a Christmas ornament, so I need this to be round. So I'm going to select the mold tool, or Shift F6. Once I've done that, I want to hit the round circular envelope. When I do that, I get a round object. Now we can do a little bit better than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag another guideline down and have it touch all the sides of the current circle. Yeah. And then I'm going to go, and on each of there are 4 points to the circle, one at each of the corners. So if I select one of them, you see I get these Bezier curve handles here, and I'm going to stretch them up to the intersections of my guidelines here. Now I know this looks really odd, but trust me on this one, it's going to look good when we get there. Right? So alright, once I've got them all done, if I hit the circular envelope again, there we go. Now I can keep doing this, and it keeps applying a more of a circular shape to it, an oval shape to it. So I can continue to do this over and over again. I'll do it just one more time to save time on this tutorial. Going around, getting them all done. While I'm doing this, I'll take the opportunity to say all of these tips that I'm showing you on this tutorial today, I learned by watching others do things, especially Gary's Xara Zone. So anything that I'm giving to you now is something that I've gotten from somewhere else in my years of learning of how to use this tool. So that being said, you know, credit where credit's due. So I'm going to stop with that, and it looks fine the way it is. I am going to now create a circle, and I'm going to do it from the inner intersections one side to the other. So that should create an exact circle over the top. Now I'm going to color this very dark purple over here, and then I'm going to give it a circular fill and move the circular fill up here towards kind of the upper left-hand quadrant, and increase the extension of it to about the edge of the circle. And you're thinking, what is that going to do? Well, I'll show you in just a moment. We're going to flat brightness transparency, and that gives it this nice kind of lighter here and darker out towards the edge color, making it look very much more three-dimensional. So now that I have my nice round ball shape, I am going to create the top, the connector for my ornament. So I'm going to go ahead and draw just a little rectangle up here, and I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see it better. And I'm going to nudge this down just so that more or less at the corners of the rectangle are pretty much touching the edges of the circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and color it a nice kind of a dark gray color for now. Maybe not that dark. And then I'm going to arrange, convert this to edible shapes, or Control-Shift-S. And I'm going to use my shape editor tool, and right along the edge here, I'm going to bend that up to the top there. Maybe not quite all the way. Yeah. And then I'm going to apply a linear fill to it. Now, my fill is going to go right about here. I want this more or less to go straight across. And so this one I've got the darker color that I've already selected. This side I'm going to add a few shades lighter, and then in the middle I'm going to drag and drop this light shade right over here. And this gives it a nice three-dimensional feel, especially if you back out to 100%. And move that. You can see it looks like a nice silver fastener, whatever you want to call those things. I have no idea what you can call them. In any case, I'm going to draw one more circle and arrange, convert this to editable shapes. Use my shape editor tool, and I'm going to select just this one fastener here, and I'm going to break at points here. I'm going to hit the escape key. And then I'm going to select this one and break at points there. Yeah. And now I have two separate semicircles. So I'm going to take the top one and I'm going to delete the bottom one. This top one I'm going to reduce in size just a bit. Yeah. Line it up in the middle. Bring it down a bit. I might give it a bit bigger line width. All right, and that I can nudge just a little bit more to the inside. Maybe not so high. There we go. You can play with it until you get it to look how you like it. But if I were to go up here and delete all guidelines, you can see I have a nice little three-dimensional looking Christmas ornament. Now I'm going to go ahead and group that. And you can do any kind of decorations here that you want. It really doesn't matter. I've done a few more. I'll drag those over as well. So it doesn't really matter what kind of designs you place on the square, as long as you place some designs on the square, and you can make it look basically however you want to. Now, like I said before, I was using these linked colors. Now the great thing about this is, I've pointed out before, if I take my color that all of these are linked to and drop it in my color editor, I can change the color of these Christmas ornaments to anything that I want. Yeah. This works better with darker colors than it does with lighter. Like some of these, like the really light blue is kind of tough to see, but once you get into the darker colors, they show up fairly well. All right, and here's another little trick for you. So I'm going to select all of these, Control C, and I'm going to open up another window. I'm going to press Control V. It's asking me, do I want to match or don't match? I'm going to say don't match. Right? And then all I have to do is go and pick my colors, theme color 1A, right? And I can change these to another color. Yeah? So purple for now. And then I'm going to Control C, and I'm going to go back to the one that I was just in, press Control V. And look, now I've got two sets of these. Now if I go back here and do this again, open up my color editor, pull this one in, change this to maybe a nice dark blue, Control C, back into here, let me back out a bit to page, Control V, don't match, there we go, and you can keep on doing this. I'll reduce these so it's easier to see them a bit all on one page. But you can continue to do this as much as you want and get as many different colored versions of your Christmas ornaments as you want. So I hope that that was informational and useful, and I hope to see you back again looking at one of my tutorials soon.